So, my patience is about that thin. I don't have the patience for this anymore. All you need to do is stand up together. But all I see is you arguing with each other. Oh, I know more, do you? You look like an idiot. Trying to redo the things that were already done for you, so you could stand up, so you could stop them. But you believe so much in your politics. You believe so much in the lies coming out of these independents. You believe so much in the lies that come out of government, full stop, that you're manipulated. You never, ever, ever show an interest in your community, your town, your country. You believe in the state, wards of the state being human trafficked, and you love it. You love arguing with each other because you're all better than. No one gives a crap. And while no one gives a crap, they overrun your country and install all this stuff you don't want. Then they turn around and say it's for your safety, because your children, they need to be managed, because you're not self-determined and can't manage yourselves. So I don't know what to say anymore. My patience is about this thin. My patience for any of this is going out the window. 20 years of doing this for you. 20 years of informing you. 20 years of showing you. Oh, don't believe Steve. I worked in government. I saw things with my own eyes regarding your land, your properties, your homes. And that just goes out the window for your egos. Your egos are better than everyone else. Don't listen to what Steve's got to say from the experience of working in a server room. Don't listen to Steve about the experience he's got working in a council, seeing it with his own eyes, seeing how they operate from the inside, seeing how your Lord Mayor has been given a back seat to the general manager or CEO of the corporation or administration that took over your town, that you don't seem to give a crap about. So they manage it for you. You can't unite, you can't stand up, you can't speak up, you can't file in a courtroom, you can't do anything except sit on social media complaining every day, like children. So I've put together another slew of videos that demonstrate what's going on around you while you sit on your hands every day doing nothing. Nothing! And then before Anzac Day, are you going to get out there and fly that red standard of your Anzac that you consecrated in 50 towns and 9 major capital cities, demonstrating who you are? Or are you going to fly that Zionist blue ensign linked to that pedo King Charles and his pedo mates and his pedo family and those pedo judges and those pedo politicians in your own parliament? Heffernan very clearly stated that this government hid 29 names under the rug, because you're not allowed to know that you're run by these kiddie-fiddling people in your parliament. You'll go and vote for them. I'm going to go and vote for the pedo. I'm going to support the pedo king. I'm going to fly the Jewish, Israeli, Zionist blue ensign on my land, because I don't know who I am, I don't know where I came from, and I forgot, lest ye forget.
She didn't sacrifice herself with witchcraft.
Right.
And for real, like,
right.
you know, she's been approached to elevate to the next level.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh, that's a real thing, bro. That's a real, like, witchcraft, voodoo, juju, all of that is a real thing.
To get to the next level in career.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
It's a real thing. So she's been presented opportunities like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we move. This is the things that you have to do to get to this level by top execs. And she was like, I'm not with it. And then also she wasn't going to sleep her way to the top. So then it caused her, and she didn't have management, really, for real. So like, she's successful. She's doing all these things, and she's to the point where it's like, I'm drunk, man. I got a drink to get out my head and just find peace. And so with liquor brought depression. So at that point she was like, this is not me. I love the music, but I hate the business. And she just was like, I can't do it anymore. So that was how she kind of let it go. But yeah, witchcraft, warlocks and voodoo, juju, black magic, all of that is hyper real. That's what made me even believe more in God.
Last individual make their way to ring the bell, and it's exactly at 33 minutes. They do that quickly, and there you go, exactly 33 minutes. This was ritualistic, meant to happen this way. As you see here, let's get a little bit of a closer look. Where you see it says, light this candle, and of course, the 33. Again, this is all ritualistic. Take a look here, going back to 1915 with this one particular movie with Kim Novak, and you see the bell and the candle. With the bell symbolism, the Liberty Bell 7, obviously shaped like the bell. NASA here with the Kennedy Space Center, of course, Kennedy being 33 numerology ceremony. Let's get to it here. Going back to ancient Babylon, bell is a title signifying Lord or Master. That's what it's all about when it comes to the bell symbolism. Their Lord, their Master.
Put the trash in space. I cannot emphasize enough. Gail said that they want to put the fucking trash in outer space. And I feel like people are ignoring this to tone police Gail, because yes, was Gail wrong? Yeah, who the fuck are you talking to? Have you been there, bitch? Space? No, I haven't, and I'm not going. I seen how you was looking terrified. I don't want to fucking go. But she also said that Blue whatever the fuck is doing, you know, research so that they can clean up the earth via taking the waste on earth into outer space. And I also cannot emphasize enough, the United States does not own everything. We don't fucking own space. That's why there's an international space system, because it does not, space station. It does not belong to one fucking person. If we put a water bottle in fucking space, it's not going to levitate above America and America only. And the fact that Jeff fucking Bezos, which y'all were like, oh, it's not SpaceX, it's Blue Origin. What the fuck is the difference? These fucking billionaires are overly invested in space when people down here don't have fucking clean drinking water and they want to pollute the next fucking thing.
Lady Gaga's performance at Coachella was so dark, it is literally making news headlines. Daily Mail says Lady Gaga's unsettling Coachella performance with satanic rituals has fans all saying the same thing after watching her Oprah-themed set. Just take a look at what is going on here. She's in white, and this person in red is literally taking her soul or whatever's going on. It's really hard to describe, but she opened her set with Bloody Mary, then Abracadabra, and then Judas. That says everything you need to know. You can watch her full performance on Coachella's official live stream, but in other news, David, an artist, flipped in front of the crowd and completely failed. He then went to his ex and posted, "Humiliation ritual complete." And last but not least, Travis Scott's set decoration was people literally hanging upside down and floating around. Have we not learned anything?
Britain just jailed a woman for a tweet. 31 months for words online. Lucy Connolly sentenced to nearly 3 years in prison, not for violence, not for theft, but for a social media post deemed offensive. This isn't justice, it's ideological punishment. In a country where repeat criminals walk free, where grooming gangs evade charges, one woman is thrown behind bars for speech. Her injustice shames Britain, says the Telegraph. This isn't about protecting society, it's about silencing dissent and enforcing obedience. If a tweet can cost you your freedom, you don't live in democracy, you live under tyranny.
What are you talking about?
Well, when was the last time you people took a trip?
Well, we take trips. We go up to Raleigh every now and then. And we drove up to Asheville that time, remember?
When your cousin became a Mason.
Paul, can we? Can we be?
Well, it's entirely up to your father, dear.
Well, I suppose we could take a little of the money and take a little trip. Want to go over to Parkinson's Falls? It's nice this time of year, and Opie hadn't been there since he was a baby. Well, you want to drive up to Asheville again? See Cousin Evan more? He's a Grand Master now.
Leos think it's crazy that over the last 200 years, the government in corporate America has dug up every single plant that grows fruits and vegetables, passed laws to discourage gardening, removed the gardens from all the homes, made people start to pay for food because they realized that the less time you have to spend taking care of yourself, the more time you can spend being a slave.
Take your children out to school. I'm a former educator of 24 years. They stopped teaching them years ago. You just didn't know. Yeah, that's true. You just didn't know. Education went to hell years ago. They taught them compliance. They stopped teaching them to think. Analytical thought went out the window with state exams. Those state exams are just being used to track your children, to determine who's going to college, to train them to support this godforsaken system, or the rest that's going elsewhere. They have pushed us into prisons. I don't care how you look at it. If you're in corporate America, you're imprisoned by your lifestyle. If you're in the government, you're imprisoned by your job with good benefits. You understand? If you are on subsidy, you're imprisoned by their benefits. We have to get out their system, pull yourself out, pull your dollars out, and level it.
People are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their homes. I'm telling you guys, the storm is brewing and it's coming fast. Insurance premiums and property taxes are skyrocketing through the roof. And the result is that people's mortgage payments are getting higher and higher to the point that it's going to be unaffordable for most people. If you don't already know, your property insurance and your property taxes are rolled into your mortgage payment for as long as you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage, you have to pay those property taxes and insurance separately outside of the mortgage. Part of your mortgage payment, when that statement comes in the mail, there's a line there that says escrow. And escrow is money that's set aside from your payments that is then used by the bank to pay your insurance and your property taxes. Your actual mortgage payment may not go up even if you have a low interest rate. Interest and principal will stay the same, but the amount you have to pay every month is going to skyrocket because the banks have to make sure you pay that. Your mortgage payment is going to go up because they've got to pay property taxes and insurance. This has always been the case, but the difference this time is that the rate of acceleration on property taxes and insurance is unlike anything anybody has ever seen. People's monthly payments are going up from $1,800 to $2,800, from $2,500 to $3,500. One of two things can happen. You either lose your home to foreclosure because you can't afford that payment, or you try to sell your home so that you can get out of this terrible situation. And the more people that start to now try to sell their homes, the more inventory increases, the more those prices are likely to come down. This does vary state to state, so it's not exactly the same in every state. Some states are in worse situations than others. They weren't kidding. Those fuckers weren't kidding. They said you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
The apple has wax on it and is sprayed in pesticides. The watermelons are genetically modified. The ketchup has high fructose corn syrup. Tomato is not a vegetable. The bread has preservatives. The grain is sprayed in glyphosate. The water is bottled in plastic. The plastic is leaching contaminants into the water. The fish is farm raised. It has no nutritional value. The cereal has red 40 and blue 1. The meat is not grass-fed. The eggs were laid in cages. The chickens live in crowded conditions. Air quality alert. Air quality alert.
All our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know? And I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line, but I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know, if anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane, you know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
You recognize?
Yes, sir. University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also, tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, RJ Reynolds and stuff has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
Chairman Clements.
And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee, to sell those with a vaccine in them?
You recognize?
Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it. All we're saying is if it does have the vaccine in it, make sure it's listed as a pharmaceutical so people can get the proper dosage.
You recognize?
Thank you. Well, my question is right now, can you walk into a grocery store and there be a head of lettuce for sale that has a vaccine in it? I don't think that's allowed under state law presently. And if it is, and you have to list it as a pharmaceutical, are we going to then have Walgreens pharmacists with a refrigerated section? I mean, how's this going to play out?
You recognize?
Thank you. This is more of a consumer protection bill right here, is to make sure that if you're going in to buy tomatoes and there's a polio vaccine in there, that you are aware of what you're buying has a polio vaccine. The problem you have is if it's not treated as a pharmaceutical, being the size and difference between you and me, how many tomatoes do I have to eat to get the proper dosage versus how many tomatoes that you have to eat? And if you eat too many, do you get a overdose?
This tiny shape-shifting blob is actually a robot, and it's potentially huge news for biomedicine. Developed by a team of scientists at Seoul National University and Gachon University in South Korea, PB, or the Particle Armored Liquid Robot, is designed to behave the way cells do and imitate biological forms and functions. It can ooze around tiny pillars, skim across water to reach a dry surface without bursting, merge with another PB, and swallow a glass bead, all without compromising structural integrity. This means that PB can reach areas and perform functions where rigid robots struggle. Its design resembles earlier liquid particle composites, such as the so-called liquid marbles, non-stick droplets covered by microscopic particles. PB can surround liquid with way more particles than liquid marbles. And this is important, as particles protect the liquid while it deforms to interact with the objects around it. And this leaves us with a potential biomedical application. Just imagine the robot in action when used for drug delivery and absorption, or tumor cell destruction, because this is exactly what this tiny creature is meant to help with in the future.
There are good people in the agency, but there are scumbags that work in our agencies, and I know them, and they're making money. They're $1 million people, and their $1 million companies are going to be exposed if it's the last thing I do. And you'll see the ties around the world to the $1 million intel people who've made money off the backs of young American kids who have died in wars while they make money. And I'll give you example after example of that. In Russia, in Ukraine, around the world, in Libya. That's what's wrong. And until we understand that, it's not going to stop.
It's going to bring manufacturing back to America. First of all, it's going to take several years to build factories in America. And in 5 to 10 years, it's not going to create no new jobs because it's going to be robots running every motherfucking thing anyway.
It's more about national security than it is about creating jobs.
There you go.
You need to be able to create your own submarines. You need to have an assembly line. You need to have the manufacturing capability to create the devices that protect you. And if you don't, you're in a real liability when it goes to global war. We didn't even have masks during COVID.
Whose fault is that?
They made...
No. It's America's fucking fault.
I haven't signed a contract or anything to say that they can take my identity, so it is a bit of an invasion of privacy.
I think it's a bit over the top, yeah. I mean, they should know the criminals from the everyday people at the end of the day, and I just think it's a bit unnecessary and a bit state hanging over us, really.
Well, I don't think you can ever be justified, unless you're in a totalitarian state, which we're apparently not.
They should have your face, no.
Pardon?
I don't think they should have your face.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Good idea?
Yeah, it's a good idea, mate.
Why's that?
What, have you got anything to hide?
Then what's your phone password? Got nothing to hide. It's a good question.
It's a good question.
We're in the heart of Cardiff, surrounded by rugby fans.
And most people here tell me they do not want facial recognition in their city. They're concerned it's an invasion of privacy. This is an unjustified overreach by the police.
I want to talk to Mr. Wales.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We're here talking about facial recognition cameras. They're scanning everyone from these lampposts. Ed, we're a bit concerned it's an invasion of privacy. What do you think?
I agree with you. Sadly, we live in a surveillance society these days, though, don't we?
Just too much protection going on these days.
Yeah.
It's all corrupt in my eyes. So, as ever, it's always been that way, but hey, what can you do in it?
Why can't you run for president?
There's stipulations. You have to get 4 county councils, which are controlled by the government parties, or you have to get 20 nominations of the Oireachtas, which are all mostly party affiliates.
So you can't just run for president?
You can't just run for president.
So how is it a democracy?
We are not a democratic country. And they'll have to answer to their constituents at some stage. There will be accountability.
Are you going to do it anyway? You're maybe the most famous living Irishman, and you're saying things that the overwhelming majority of your politicians will not say. What do you think they're going to do to you if you keep talking this way?
Attempt to tarnish as they are and move forward under God. And my nation can see.
You're really not afraid at all?
Not an iota. That is one of my issues here in Ireland and the people of Ireland. The overspending that's going on. This is our public wealth being administered into private hands, enriching people to bring in this influx of illegal mass migration that is changing the fabric of my country. Ireland is very close to losing its Irishness, and we will not let that happen.
This mass surveillance program, that is a Flock safety camera. It's an artificial intelligence automatic license plate reader, and unlike others, Flock cameras are connected to a nationwide database. They run your plates against police hot lists and the FBI's criminal database. Cameras also record data like your car's make, color, or features like a missing hubcap. There's even AI-powered audio detection for things like gunshots or fireworks. So then Flock's database stores all the information gathered for up to 30 days. And this surveillance is constantly expanding. An estimated 40,000 Flock cameras read over 1 billion plates per month. They're in 5,000 communities across the U.S. and are used by over 3,000 police departments. And it's not just police departments using these. Flock cameras are used by major companies, neighborhood HOAs, and affordable housing communities, which is well within their right, but then police have access to all the information gathered. Flock says the cameras only detect license plates and vehicles, not facial recognition or people, and they're prohibited for immigration and traffic enforcement. So what do you think?
Former Charmed co-star Alyssa Milano gets a lot of credit for helping Me Too go viral. So, are you proud of her?
I don't like her.
Why?
Because I think she's a lie.
Why?
Do you think I don't know these people? I'm not looking at this from the outside. I have a lot of experience. I know she's married to a CIA agent. Do the math. Who's behind Time's Up? CIA. Where do they meet? CIA. Who needs good PR? CIA. Who are part of the pimp problem? CIA.
These are very powerful people you're talking about.
They are. So am I.
Does the Vatican run the world?
Most people don't digest this. They're the largest single stockholder in the world. They own the most property in the world that pays no taxes. There's an organization a lot deeper than them called the Solidarity. It's about 2,000-year-old club, and it's in the catacombs of the Vatican. Most people don't know what I'm telling you.
So they meet down there, you're saying?
That's where they are. They only meet there, period.
Right, okay.
They're very high-level profile people throughout the world. You get invited to be in it. Who's running the world? I think they are.
When Kanye says, they continue to remind us and profit of our pain. So I just wanted to remind them of their pain. Wow. The allegations is that there's a lot of very powerful Jewish businessmen that own the record labels. If you think about the music that's being out there, especially in the Black community, right? What does it consist of? What are the lyrics about? Murdering, money, drugs, freaking, disparaging and undermining women. So does he have a point?
Record labels come to you and tell you, this is the song that we need right now, and you need to make it. You have no control, so they're telling you what to rap about, telling you what's hitting right now.
They're your boss.
Boss is a strong word. I would say master.
You're calling them modern age slaves.
Are they free? I don't think so. If you want to poison people, you're not going to have somebody who's a different race. The people aren't going to listen.
Like,
so you bring in somebody who I can relate to that guy, right? And then they poison the minds of everybody. And now everyone has this limited belief that they're oppressed, that it's difficult to live in this country like that. They're not told they could do whatever they want. Clarence Thomas, first black Supreme Court justice, be like that guy. Be like Dr. Ben Carson, a brain surgeon. No, they don't talk about these guys because they don't want little black children to grow up and be like that.
Asked for a jetliner.
I'm told that Justin Bieber, just like Michael Jackson, is engaged in a war against musical executives, except the musical executives have gotten smarter over time. He wants out of Hollywood. He does not care about the money. He wants out. It is the same war which was fought by Michael Jackson. It is the same war which was fought by Ye. Okay, you remember Ye going on rant talking about these contracts, which he said were predatory, contracts that artists could not get out of, contracts that artists signed when they were children, that they had no idea what these things meant. For example, they have no idea that if things go badly, they can't just go to the courts and resolve these issues publicly, because if the public can see what's going on in the courts and read the lawsuits, it changes things, right? Because we can read what Ryan and Blake and Justin Baldoni are saying, and we go, okay, well, there's a very clear winner in our imagination. I don't care how the press tries to spin it. Well, now these contracts are written so that these artists and these podcasters are forced to go into arbitration. And of course, if you're a child whose only person looking over your shoulder is your mother who had you when you were 16 years old, and you see the word arbitration, you have no idea what that means, what the context of that is. It means that it's private. It means that you have to go meet, and there's one person that gets to decide your fate, and gets to determine, one judge that gets to determine who's right and who's wrong. And of course, within LA and New York, we are learning more and more that these judges and these lawyers are in many times paid off, right? That especially within Hollywood, they own everything. Okay, I am talking about the agents, or in with the managers, or in with the judges, or in with the courtrooms. There is no way out for these artists.
The Australia I grew up in was unreal. It was so fun. And we didn't seem to have all these problems. There wasn't all this sort of like, the woke stuff's really gone big in Australia.
What's the example of that?
Stuff they're teaching children in school.
Right.
I don't think sexuality and children should be in the same sentence. And I don't think anyone's sexuality is anyone's business. You don't know about mine. I don't know about yours. Why would we? But yeah, that stuff really icks me.
Problem with Australia. You've got everyone barely doing the speed limit, and ahead of these cars, it's just an empty highway. Like, it's full. And we've got the entire system blocked by multiple vehicles all crammed in together. Limited to, we're doing 90 on a 100K road, and look at this sprawl. Absolutely pathetic. And behind us now, there's absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. We got 6 vehicles all doing 90 Ks an hour on the highway. What the fuck is wrong with you clowns? What is wrong with you clowns? Seriously, where's the traffic flow? 90 Ks an hour, 6 vehicles. Fuck's sake. Peanuts. You're all fucking peanuts.
Our government, completely controlled by the Israeli government.
This principle of deporting students for their political allegiances or views, where do you sit on that?
Well, I mean, our government will certainly try to do that as long as the government of Israel demands it. And our government, completely controlled by the Israeli government, and they're going to do the Israeli government's bidding. That's what this is really about. Legal residents, permanent residents who have green cards will be deported simply for exercising their freedom of speech and criticizing how the Israeli government is prosecuting this war in Gaza, slaughtering tens of thousands of innocent women, children, elderly people, civilians. They're going to continue the slaughter. They don't want any backlash from anyone in the United States about it, including American citizens, including permanent residents. And remember, Miriam Adelson and the Adelson family overall gave Donald Trump hundreds of millions of dollars to not do what's right for the United States, but to do what's right for Israel.
Some of you need to be reminded that the good guys don't execute paramedics and hide the bodies. They don't kidnap doctors. They don't assassinate journalists. They don't rape prisoners. And they don't slaughter civilians. The good guys don't bomb churches. They don't bomb mosques. They don't bomb schools. They don't bomb hospitals. And they certainly don't bomb refugee camps. The good guys sure as hell don't do everything they can do to starve an entire nation. I don't care how much money they've spent buying your politicians. If they're doing this, they're evil. And sorry to say it, but if you support them, then so are you, and history will not be kind to you.
This place sucks, guys. I said, when they told me we were coming to Perth, I said, hey, we gotta go to Sydney instead. I mean, even Taylor Swift went to Sydney instead of this dump. I'm serious. You Google like the top 10 things to do as a tourist in Perth. And number 1 is go visit an island full of rats. Not so different from you people, huh?
Dave? Oh, Dave!
Nepal, our mother, this country gave us birth, nurtured us. But what did it ask in return? Just our honesty, our hard work, our contribution. But what are we doing? We are bounded by the chains of unemployment, fleeing abroad in search of opportunities. We are trapped by the selfish games of political parties. Corruption has woven a web that is extinguishing the light of our futures. Youth, rise! Our ancestors shed their blood to give us this nation. We cannot sell it, we cannot lose it. King Birendra once said, even if I die, shall my country live on?
So does that demonstrate everything? You sit on social media complaining all day, every day, spreading the most ridiculous crap, speaking old news, instead of addressing the real world problem you have. You'll own nothing. 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 Are you ready to enjoy it while they take your homes? While they push you to the brink? While they starve you? While they manipulate the money supply to their advantage? While they use all of your wealth in their battlefields? Are you ready for it? Because that's what's coming. Are you ready for the detention centres around Australia to be used on you? Are you awake or are you woke? Are you whiny little children that only give a shit about yourselves? Woke. You're not awake. You're not awake to what's coming. You're not awake to what's going to happen. You won't stand up for God, King and country. You'll stand up for foreign powers, Zionist flags. That's about the sum of it. That's what you want. That's what you get.